Hello and welcome to Devil's Advocate. The Indian Premier League was supposed to be the biggest show in the country, but has it turned into a declining asset? That's the key issue I shall discuss today with the chairman of the IPL, Rajeev Shukla. Mr. Shukla, there's a widespread feeling that the IPL is becoming a declining asset with falling viewership and increasing concern about its impact on Indian cricket. Do you think the time has come to rethink the whole thing?
No, I think it's a myth. I don't think we are aware of the facts. If you go by the fact, 56% increase in internet viewership, and they are talking about the TRPs. If you look at the TRPs, all metros is around between 7 to 10. And now must tell you, Karan, the paradigm of the TRP is also shifted. Earlier, those shows, the entertainment shows, which used to get 7, 8, 9, 10 TRP, if they do between 1 to 2 or 3, they are considered the best shows.
Let's pause for a moment and actually look at the facts first in terms of the TRPs. Your TRPs for the first 16 games of IPL 5 are significantly lower than IPL 4, and this is despite the fact IPL 4 followed the World Cup. At that point, viewer fatigue was high. It's not the case today, so surely this is
wrong.
A sign.
Whoever has told you is wrong. You are going by the media reports only. 1 or 2 newspapers have published it, but you haven't got other India. Television.com, you go by the reports.
I'm going by time ratings.
Yes,
time ratings suggest a significant decline.
What is the rating of the first match?
Well, in fact, this is very interesting. You should say that because your opening match in the 6 big metros was the lowest ever in the history of the IPL.
It's wrong.
Let me give you the ratings.
I think we have got
your rating was 1.1 compared to 3.3 last year.
I think you have got the wrong data. The first was 5.9, second was 5.6. And the general TRPs and Sony TVs out of best shows, top 3 shows is IPL.
You know, every single paper reported what TAM had given.
No.
Let me finish, then you answer. Let me finish, then you answer.
I'm telling you. Let me explain.
So you're quarreling with TAM?
No.
You're quarreling with TAM?
No, I'm not quarreling with TAM. TAM provides the data. Everybody analyzes it according to its convenience.
But hang on a second. Analysis is a different matter. I'm not analyzing data. I'm simply giving you the facts. The TAM data was that your opening night had the lowest viewership ever in the history. You had a rating in the 6 big metros of 1.11 compared to 3.33, which means that despite Amitabh Bachchan, Salman Khan, Kareena Kapoor and Katy Perry, the viewers did not switch on. That's why I put to you, viewership is falling, people aren't interested.
Now, should I explain it? There was no opening ceremony of such a scale ever in IPL. This is for the first time this idea has been introduced. So where's the question of, it was the lowest in the history.
In which case it's even worse, because if you had a gala opening this time, which you've never had before, but your viewership is the lowest, then it's even worse.
No, this is for the first time that we had 2.5 hours long opening ceremony. It
so
never
happened.
Earlier opening ceremonies were of 30 minutes followed by a match. So match and opening ceremonies together, the TRP used to be registered. This time we had a separate opening ceremony on a previous day, and if you analyze
you're proving my point. You're proving my point because you had a gala opening ceremony, which you've never done before, with Amitabh Bachchan and Salman Khan. Your viewership should have been the highest. In fact, it's the lowest.
Mr. Tim Sebastian of India, I want to bring into notice that they are taking the TRP from 6 o'clock up to 10 o'clock, while the show was between 8 to 10. Between 8 to 10, look at the TRPs.
All right.
When the entertainment show was there. This is what,
You're quarreling with TRPs.
What some journalists do, they take out the data and interpret in their own way.
I'm not taking
Sony
out the data.
TV is fully happy. They are getting enough.
Actually, I'll come to Sony TV in a moment's time. Let's not jump the gun. You're quarreling with the TRPs, you're questioning time, you're questioning the analysis that papers put on it. Let's put TRPs aside. Let's come to cumulative reach, because that's really what people worry about. Your cumulative reach for the first 6 matches of IPL 4 was considerably higher. It was 101 million. For IPL 5, it's just about 90 million. That's a fall of over 10%. That is enormous.
Last IPL, it was 156 million.
After the World Cup, when viewer fatigue was at its highest,
IPL 4,
it should have been higher this time.
Let the IPL be over, then I will talk to you. IPL is in the middle way. Only 1/4 matches have taken place.
So I'm comparing the middle with the middle of last time.
Not middle. Once the IPL is over, then I will talk to you.
Okay. You know the other problem we
And
face?
then you know, if I had gone to Karachi, every home, every restaurant, every hotel is watching IPL.
Maybe. I'm
Despite
talking about
the fact
India.
there are no
I'm talking
Pakistani
about
players.
India, not
No, no,
Karachi.
listen.
This is the Indian,
And this
not
time,
the Pakistani league.
This time we have given TV rights to all over the world. Caribbean islands are also showing IPL.
But I'm
Look
talking
at
about the
interest.
Indian audience.
Stadiums,
Your audience in India is reducing itself steadily. Maybe you're increasing audience abroad, but you're an Indian league.
Why are you not talking about the packed stadiums?
Just a moment.
You ask the franchisee,
You've always,
4 matches.
You always had packed stadiums. The problem is the viewership on television is down.
This time, 4 stadiums are 4 games in advance are already sold.
You know,
packed stadiums.
Just a moment. You say packed stadiums. If you look at the record in ratings of the 5 IPLs that have been held, it's a steady decline downwards. Let me finish, then you answer. Your average rating for IPL 1 was 5.08. By the time it came to IPL 3, it had fallen to 4.61. By IPL 4, it was down to just 4. And at the moment, your average rating for the IPL 5 is 3.65. It's a steady decline downwards.
This is what I want to tell you. You are giving the ratings after the IPL is over. Now you are trying to analyze it on the basis of 1 or 2 weeks. Once the IPL is over, I'll talk to you. You know, we are getting
mean there's going to be a dramatic change?
response.
There's going to be a dramatic
Karan,
change?
you are also into this business. You understand, you are also working with several TV channels. The paradigm of TRP has also shifted. Now they have got to 1 million plus market.
You're sounding like a bad carpenter blaming his tools.
I know.
You're blaming the tools. You're questioning the data. You're questioning the facts.
I'm not questioning the data. What I'm trying to tell you that now the whole paradigm has changed. Now the TAM has gone into, you know, those towns which has got a population of 1 lakh plus. So that data
so
is
the
also
system has gone against your interest. That's what you're saying.
No. Earlier TRP was measured on that basis of only metros and few cities.
So the change in the measurement and the change in the procedure has affected you adversely.
The canvas has spread.
All right.
So
let's move away.
Why those TV serials which are getting only 2 TRPs are considered to be superb, considered to be more successful? Why?
Let's move away from TRPs. Let's come to what you threw out a moment ago. You said to me that Sony was exceptionally happy. The truth of the matter is that actually advertisers are deserting you as well. Hyundai and Godrej, 2 major advertisers, are not with you. Godrej was with you for the first 4 IPLs. They've opted out from IPL 5. And secondly, up till the middle of April, you only had 4 or 5 sponsors. Last year, at this point, you had 10. That's a clear sign that advertisers have moved
I think
away.
their also homework is wrong. None of the sponsors have gone away. Everybody is with us. In fact, whatever right we are selling,
Godrej isn't with you. Hyundai isn't with you.
Whatever rights we are selling, it's going on higher price.
No, it's not. That again is not true. Forgive me.
I am running the shop, so I know I am the...
No, but the selling of the advertising is being done by Sony, and Sony doesn't deny the fact, and it's been reported widely in the papers, that this time IPL rates in IPL 5 are 15 to 20% down. 15 to 20% down.
I am telling you, Sony has not made any such complaint to us. They are very happy.
No, they're not complaining to you, but they're letting the papers know. The advertisers are aware of it. The newspapers are aware of it.
Will they complain?
In fact, can I point something else out?
Will they come to you to complain?
They're telling the papers. It's in the papers. Read the papers.
They haven't complained to us. They are very happy. There's no such problem. As far as IPL rights are concerned.
Are you living in what the press might call a fool's paradise? No. You're convincing yourself because you don't want to see reality. Therefore, you're saying it's not what I wanted to be.
I think you are living in fool's paradise. Somebody has fed you with wrong data, wrong facts. So I want to correct you. And don't get misled by these people, you know, who are propagating against the IPL. There is a very
minuscule section of the viewership, and you have no problem with advertising.
No problem with viewership. In fact, response is rocking. We are getting very good report, and IPL 5 will be a super success. Secondly,
response is rocking, and IPL 5 will be a super success.
Yes, now,
you sure you won't have to eat those words?
Now there is an element of IPL in everybody's life. Nobody, you know, did you read that story? That one guy, one shopkeeper, 4 or 5 young guys, they were watching the IPL, he switched off the TV and they stabbed the shopkeeper. That kind of reports we are getting. What are you talking?
I'll let you have the last word on that. Let's take a break and come back and talk about the second issue of importance and concern. The impact IPL is having on Indian cricket. Many people say it's an adverse impact. Let's see how you defend the IPL. That's in a moment's time. See you after the break. Welcome back to Devil's Advocate and an exclusive interview with the chairman of the Indian Premier League, Rajeev Shukla. Mr. Shukla, let's come to the impact the IPL is having on Indian cricket. Senior players like Bishan Singh Bedi, Sunil Gavaskar and the late Tiger Patauti have gone on record to say that today, because of the IPL, young cricketers are gravitating towards T20 and showing less interest in Test cricket, which is the real game. In fact, Bishan Singh Bedi says that the IPL is responsible for the decline of domestic cricket and for India's disastrous showing in England and Australia.
Well, what Mr. Bedi is saying, I would not like to respond because he says lot many things on lot many TV channels.
But people listen to him, so, and he's a respected cricketer.
It's good that people listen to him. People should believe them.
So you're ignoring it?
No, I'm not taking. Unnecessarily they are senior players. I would not like to respond to them in their language.
But no.
What I'm trying to tell you that
what about
Mr.
the point he's making?
Mr. Gavaskar and Patauti both were on the governing council of IPL. There they didn't make this complaint. Secondly, now you're talking about...
Can I interrupt? I'm going to quote to you something Tiger Patauti told this program when he was very much a member of the governing council. He said that in fact the young cricketers who are playing for IPL don't even know the basic fundamentals of the game. He specifically said they don't know how to run between wickets, they don't know which direction to throw in, they don't keep their eye on the ball. Yet he added that they behave as if they know it all. And he says IPL is spoiling them.
That's a positive comment of Mr. Patauti. If he wants those young lads to learn these things, is good. He must have given an advice.
But the problem is IPL is actually teaching them the wrong things.
Should I tell you the structure of IPL? We are only taking those players who are registered with the state associations. They are coming through a process. They are the players, not that we are picking up from here and there and pick up an IPL player.
But you're teaching them bad habits. No. They're learning how to play badly rather than play correctly and technically properly.
Sanctity of the cricket is being fully maintained in IPL games. We have got the entire structure with ICC put in place. Not even a single rule here and there.
I don't deny that. I don't deny that ICC rules are obeyed. What about the points Tiger Patauti made? What about the fact that they don't throw in the right direction? They don't run properly between wickets. They take their eye off the ball. Those are critical fundamentals that these young cricketers haven't learned, and now they're getting set into bad ways.
I can give you the comments of 100 top players of the world, legends of the crickets in the world who have praised IPL. Thus IPL is one tournament which has provided plethora of opportunities to younger talent, and because of this they are able to...
Senior cricketers praise IPL because they are making money of the sort they've never made before. They have a vested interest. Junior cricketers are making money, there's no doubt about it. But in the process, bad habits are getting set. They're not learning technically correct cricket, as a result of which not just Tiger Patauti, Bishan Singh Bedi, Sunil Gavaskar are complaining that the cricketing talent is being pushed in the wrong direction.
I think it's not correct. Cricket, each and every rule of the cricket is being followed in IPL. We are not breaching any rule. Any change in the pattern of the game is not there. Everything is being followed by the experts of the cricket, and I don't think anybody can question the credentials of the cricket and the pattern which is being followed in the IPL.
Hang on a moment. You say no one can question the credentials of the cricket that is being played at IPL. I'm going to quote to you now Ratnakar Shetty, your chief administrative officer, who's gone on record to say that IPL is making Indian cricketers swollen-headed. He says, and I'm going to quote him to you, some of these youngsters have become very big. Some of them are feeling playing in Ranji Trophy is not as important as playing in the IPL. And while I'm quoting, let me also quote Gulu Ezekiel. He says, a new generation of half-baked players with faulty techniques who strut around like superstars based on their dubious performance in the IPL. These are your own people saying it.
As far as Mr. Shetty is concerned, he has made a right comment. This is an advice to those players who are not maintaining the basics of the cricket.
So you accept that the IPL is giving people wrong attitudes?
It's about individual players, that they should play in Ranji. I am saying all the players, we are also giving the same advice what Mr. Shetty is saying, that you should concentrate on your junior cricket also, on your domestic cricket also.
But,
what is wrong?
But we're not talking about one. We're not talking about one or two. We're talking about a whole generation of young cricketers who are becoming swollen-headed.
This is not a criticism of IPL. This is an advice
to those players. This is definitely criticism of IPL.
This is an advice to those players who are not concentrating on domestic
But
cricket.
the
That they
problem
should
is, it's
concentrate.
not one or two, it's a whole generation.
No,
That's why IPL is the problem.
No, it's not with whole generation. The similar kind of advice had been given to international cricketers also to focus on their domestic cricket. That's why we have made it compulsory, mandatory for even international players that after the injury they have to play one domestic season.
Can I say to you, it's not just that the
Like Yuvraj,
let me
he
finish.
can't come back
Let's come
to
to
IPL unless he plays a domestic season.
Let's come to Yuvraj Singh in a moment's time. We're talking about how IPL has distorted the attitude of cricketers. It's not just that they've become swollen-headed. Sunil Gavaskar has gone on record to say that because they earn more playing for a club than they do for the country, the ambition and desire to be in the national team has diminished. That's not in India's
First
interest.
of all, I want to make it very clear that IPL is not a cricket club. IPL is a subcommittee of BCCI.
But the different teams are like a cricket club.
It's the domestic,
But the different
it's
teams
the
are like
domestic
clubs.
tournament of BCCI.
And
So-
because they earn more playing for a domestic tournament
Why
through
you
clubs,
are worried
through
about
clubs,
the earnings of the
that
players?
does-
Now you have come to the right question, which
You-
some people
no,
are
no, 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 no.
propagating.
You're missing-
Why players are earning?
No, I'm not
They
saying why
come-
they're earning. You're missing my
They
question.
come from
You
very
missed-
humble background,
Forgive me.
poor guys.
You
They are
missed-
making money.
That's not the question,
becoming
Rajeev
millionaire.
Shukla.
Nobody
Rajeev
should
Shukla.
question
The
that.
question was quoting Sunil Gavaskar, who said that because they earn more playing for clubs, they don't wish to
Sunil-
play for the country.
Sunil
Their
Gavas-
desire to play for the country has diminished. That's what
Sunil
he says.
Gavaskar has said lot many things in support of IPL. Why don't you quote those things?
Because at the moment,
Hundreds of things he has said in support of IPL.
but he's also said things that are critical. And this is what I'm pointing out to you. How do you respond
no,
to this?
he's not critical of IPL. He is critical of certain players who are not following.
But because it's a
who
generation
are
we're
not
talking about,
following-
it becomes the
who
IPL.
are not following the expected behavior. He is indicating them to follow the behavior which they are
So you're
supposed
blaming individual players and you're protecting the IPL, which you're
Of
chairman of.
course.
Is that fair? You're blaming individuals at the cost
to. You know,
of trying to protect yourself.
How can you blame an organization which is doing so well?
Is it?
The entire world is appreciating.
Just a moment. What about the fact?
Karan,
what about the
I
fact-
can tell you on your program that every player in the world wants to play for IPL. Isn't it a good achievement?
Can I put this to you? We're talking about the impact on Indian cricket. Are you saying that the IPL has not had a deleterious impact? You're saying that people like Bedi, Gavaskar and the late Tiger Patodi were wrong in criticizing IPL for having a bad impact on Indian cricket?
I am saying they are the senior players. They are only giving advice to certain players. They are not criticizing IPL.
Oh, I'm afraid they are. Just listen carefully to what they say.
This is your interpretation, and you're entitled to have your interpretation.
Vishnu Singh Bedi has said it openly and unequivocally on this program on the 26th of February this year.
Vishnu Singh Bedi has said lot many things about you people.
So are you
also.
dismissing
So
him? Are you dismissing him?
No. Do you want me to comment to bring those things also? What he's talking about news channels, what he's talking about different programs. So I'm not getting
On a
into-
different day when we talk about that, we can certainly do
He
so.
is a
But
good-
today we're
he is
talking
a
about
good-
IPL.
He is a good friend of mine, and he is our senior person in the Indian cricket. So we all respect him.
Let me put this to you. Many people say that because the money in IPL is so large and because people only get paid when they play, young cricketers play through injuries. As a result, they aggravate their injuries, and that's not good for them, it's not good for cricket, and it's not at the end good for the selection of the Indian team.
I think you have brought a genuine, problem into this interview. I think you are right. Because of
So this you do concede?
Yes, because of these matches, sometimes injury problem does occur. So what we have done this time, that we have asked our BCCI's physios to remain in touch with the physios and trainer of all the franchises. So if there is any injury reported, the timely action is taken.
Can I put this to you? Some
And-
people
and
say
apart
that
from that, we
Dhoni
have-
has a hamstring
apart-
injury. It's suspected, it's
apart-
not confirmed.
ap-
Have you looked into that?
Now, apart from that, we have enlarged the players' bank.
Have you looked
now
into
for
Look,
every
just
slot?
answer my question.
No, now
Have you
for-
looked into
now-
Dhoni's suspected
No,
injury? People feel he has
just
an
one
injury.
sentence. Let me complete it. Now, for every slot, we have got 5-6 alternatives. So, if somebody is injured, we immediately replace.
I'm glad to hear that.
So,
but
so
what
Indian
about
cricket is not affected.
What about my point? Many people feel that Dhoni is playing through an injury. He has a suspected hamstring injury. Have you checked into that?
Even if you have got hamstring injury, you can't take interview. You can't sit on the table, on the
So
chair.
this is rubbish you're
So
saying.
whenever any player goes to play, the physio, they conduct the entire test, and if they find any problem, they immediately report it.
So
And
concerns
now I want-
about Dhoni are misplaced.
On your program, I want to make one more, policy statement, that if anybody is feeling fatigued, if anybody has got any injury, he should immediately inform the BCCI, the IPL Secretariat, and he will be given adequate rest. Nobody is being forced to play, irrespective of how big is the player.
Rajeev Shukla, that's an important statement you made. We end the show on that point. A pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, Karan.